Aloha, everyone. My name is Sarah. I work for Hui Malama, specifically for the Health Education Program. And today I am going to be demonstrating what we're going to be giving you on Ladies' Night Out, which is a Quinoa Cranberry Almond Salad. And the main reason we chose this salad is because of the quinoa. And the quinoa is everything that we teach about. The quinoa is 100% whole grain. It's very high in protein. It's high in fiber. It is really nutrient packed. And so quinoa, a plant-based protein, is really excellent for anyone who is trying to cut down on heart disease, lower their cholesterol, to have better control of their diabetes. There are many health benefits. So you'll be getting a cup of quinoa. You will be getting a half a cup of cranberries, and you will be getting 3/4 cup of almonds. I like to start with cooking the quinoa. This is already a pre-measured cup of quinoa, and you would measure it using a dry measuring cup so that you could level it off. The recipe calls to do it in a saucepan, where you could do it on the stove, which is perfectly fine. However, we all have rice cookers, and I prefer to do mine in the rice cooker. It makes it much easier because you don't have to attend to it. Since we've already measured it, put it into the rice cooker. It's always 1 cup of quinoa to 2 cups of water. When you're measuring water, you don't use this, and the reason is it's too easy to spill, and so you're going to use this, and you're going to measure it right to the 2 cup, and how you're going to know is you're going to bend down and look to see if you've got the right amount. Pour that into the rice cooker, put on the lid, press the button, and let it do its magic. After starting the quinoa, I like to do the cranberries, and the recipe calls for these cranberries to be rehydrated. When you're rehydrating, you want to use hot water. It's a half a cup of the cranberries, and it's a half a cup of hot water. And the reason that we measure accurately is so that you can produce the same flavor and quality of product every time. That's a half cup. Pour that over the cranberries. For good measure, I'm just going to stir the cranberries a little bit, and then I'm going to set this aside. And we're going to let it sit there, and it's going to plump up the cranberries so they're nice and juicy and soft. So next I'm going to chop the almonds, and we have measured out 3/4 cups of almonds. Now the recipe calls for sliced. We're using whole almonds instead, and going to slice them here. If you wanted to do something quicker, rather than slicing them, I would put them in a food processor. I have a small pile, and it takes a little bit of force. And keep bringing them back together because they like to run away. And of course it would be simpler to buy sliced almonds, but having whole almonds in your household presents a lot more possibilities for almond dishes. You could chop it finer if you like, but that's fine enough. So next I'm going to slice the scallions, and the recipe calls for 1 cup. These have already been washed and the roots taken off and trimmed. And we're going to use all of the green onion. I like to put them together. I'm going to go back over it and try to slice a little bit more. So next we're going to make the salad dressing. And the salad dressing is just a very simple olive oil, lemon juice salad dressing with a few seasonings. We'll be using olive oil. We're going to be using lemon. I used fresh. However, you could use lemon juice that's already squeezed if you have it, or you could even use a lime if you prefer a stronger flavor. We're also going to be using honey. This honey came from Kauai, Hawaiian sea salt, and a little bit of black pepper. I'm going to start with the olive oil, and again we're going to use a wet measuring cup, a liquid measuring cup, and it calls for 1/4 cup, which isn't a lot of olive oil. Olive oil is heart healthy, monounsaturated, and you can use whatever you like. This is a nice salad dressing jar. You can make your salad dressing in it, and then you can also serve from it. I'm just going to pour that in. And next I'm going to do the lemon. So I'm just going to simply cut this in half. And then you will need some kind of juicer. And if you wanted a stronger flavor, because it's a fairly mild dressing, you could take the rind and scrape the rind off. You could grate it and add grated lemon rind to the dressing, and that would give it a stronger lemon flavor. It calls for 3½ teaspoons. That's our base. Next, I'm going to add my dry ingredients. I'm going to add the honey last. Black pepper, that's already measured off. We're going to put that in there. ½ teaspoon sea salt. We also need a ½ teaspoon of honey. This is our Kauai honey, and it smells wonderful. And so we're going to put that in there, and then I'm going to tip the jar a little bit so I can try to get the honey out. Let it sit there and drain. So now we're ready to put it all together. We've got it all cooked and prepped. What I'm going to start with is the cranberries, and you will see that the cranberries aren't going to absorb all of the liquid. We can have some of the liquid go into the quinoa salad, but I'm going to drain a little bit of that off. Okay, and you can see that it's still very moist. So here's our quinoa. Took about 20 minutes in the rice cooker. Before I put it in the bowl, I like to stir it up and make sure that it's not compact. It's nice and fluffy and loose. Put this in the bowl. Chop it up a little bit in there. Get it ready for all the ingredients that are going to go in. Put the almonds in. Put in the cranberries. The cranberries did plump up. They're nice and juicy and soft. And if you have a little extra juice, that's okay. Put in the chopped scallions. Before I put the dressing in, I like to just mix that up a little bit. And then I'm going to give a final shake to our dressing and drizzle that around. And then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to turn my bowl. This is what it looks like put together. This could be eaten warm or it can be eaten cold. This here is our finished product. And the garnish isn't mint. In this case, it's basil, just because I happen to like basil. And there we have it. Easy. Mahalo everyone for joining me in preparing this quinoa salad. I do hope you all enjoy it. It is something different. We're pretty much a rice society here, but quinoa is really wonderfully nutritious. I encourage you to be adventurous and try this new dish and try quinoa and let us know what you think about it. We look forward to having you in one of our classes or simply talking to you about some new product you would like to try. And of course, quinoa. Thank you. Mahalo.